didn't turn myself off. I'm all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt behind you. Oh, that's still there.
Welcome to the Way of Mastery. This is a class on learning how to lighten the frigid up. Lighten up. I want y'all to know that this is a brilliant teacher behind y'all. And he's dedicated and committed to your joy. What you do with your hand? Made my skirt. Be careful. Boy. None of that dial perversion here. I know I'm creating it. Well, I'll mess around and have fun on you in a minute. I will. I am not going to not laugh and enjoy my life.
That's right. Thank you.
No, I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do that. So welcome to the Way of Mastery. And just remember, the only rule of the Way of Mastery is that you don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of the stuff will be hard to believe. Some of it will be startling. But, hey, it still would be entertaining even if it sounded totally insane. It would be, at least I'd be hearing something other than the ordinary stuff I hear every day. The name of the section that I'm going to cover tonight, and what I want to do is, because this is so deep, what I want to do is really let me cover some without questions, and then I'm going to open it up for comment questions, and then we're going to go on, okay? Because when I really say something that's really startling, the temptation is going to want to be to disrupt the communication, and that takes the form of a question, because I feel threatened. So I got to cut off this line of conversation, but I got to do it in a way that seems legitimate. So I'll put it in the form of a question. But what I'm really doing is telling you to shut up for just a minute. Halt. That's what the Course says. You know, and I think it's true. I think it's true. The ego is the part of you that does you in that you don't know is there. And it can only successfully cause you pain by you not being aware of how it operates. So the part of you that sabotages you operates according to very rules. And what we have to do is we have to remember who we really are beyond what we've been taught that we are. So that's what we're going to pretend tonight. We're going to pretend that we are unlimited. And we're going to pretend that we are unlimited spirit. That we are spirit and we're unlimited. Now, what that means is we're going to pretend like we are more than our physical bodies. We're going to pretend like there's more to us than just this. That there's something greater in us. That we have something greater. So just for an evening, lose your story and say, tonight I'm going to be an unlimited spirit, and I'm going to hear what an unlimited spirit is and what it's like and how it operates, because it really is our true identity. That we really are unlimited. We really are greater than we think we are. And we've learned things to the contrary, and then he said, then the truth says, then we believed it, and then after we believed it, then we started to see it. Because you always see what you believe. Okay, so let me hit a little bit of it, okay? Now I want you to give me permission to say anything and to talk any kind of way without censorship.
Okay.
Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, like, you can break out and go, shit! Y'all gonna be cool with that? Y'all gonna be cool with that?
Yes.
On the internet, y'all gonna be cool with that? Okay. I don't want to talk censored. I don't want to think like it's not okay to say something because I'm supposed to be in the church or something. This is a church-free zone.
All right.
We are the church. You the church. So, here we go.
Here we go.
It's on page 154. It's called You Are Unlimited Spirit. It says, we come forth to join with you, and yet we are not apart from where you are. We are not inaccessible to any of God's children. In truth, separation doesn't exist in all of creation. This can only mean that I'm not apart from where you are, and where you are has nothing at all to do with the location of the body. Where you are has nothing at all to do with the location of your body that you've learned to call your own. Wow. Where you really are has nothing to do with the location of your body, a body that you've learned to call your own. You are so expansive. Don't forget now, we're playing like we're unlimited. You're so unlimited that where you are located is not where you are.
Right.
And you think you're located in that body that you're calling your own. That sounds true. We think we're located in the body that we're calling our own. And it says, in truth, you are pure spirit. The truth that you are as I am. Spirit says, in truth, that which you are abides throughout all dimensions of consciousness. In truth, that which you are has never tasted a separation from God, has never tasted a separation from love. That you are so big, you exist in every dimension of existence. You're talking about a weight problem. That's big. I knew I shouldn't have stopped running. My weight is all out of here. It exists in all dimensions of time. Okay. Have you ever had your butt feel like that? Yeah, some of the women know what I'm talking about. They could have sworn they had a regular butt last night, and they woke up this morning, and their butt was existing in all dimensions of consciousness. Now, people who like to be serious all the time, they're irritated at me right now. Okay. He says, now, there is an aspect of you that has chosen to perceive yourself as identified with the physical body. Okay? There's a part, you big, but there's a part of you that has chosen to identify itself with being a physical body in this third dimensional world. And the third dimensional world, as opposed to the first dimensional world and the second dimensional world and the fourth dimensional world, the third dimensional world is a world where you think you're in time and space. So we think we're in time and space. Is that true? Mm-hmm. And we also identify with our physical body. Is that true? Okay, well, this is a part of the experience you have created and thus called to yourself. Okay, you are an unlimited being that has created this experience of seeing yourself as a physical body in space and time. You have created the experience of seeing yourself as a physical body in space and time. You are a great big unlimited spiritual self that has actually chosen to see yourself as identified with the physical body in time and space. Any question about that? That we think we're in time and space, we think we're a physical body, and what this book has the audacity to tell us is that this is just one aspect of ourselves. This is just a little bit of you, almost like if you just took your finger and you just stuck it in a hole. It's just a little bit of your finger. That's not your whole self. But if you think the finger running itself, you're in trouble. So we are now experiencing an aspect of ourselves that is identified with the physical body that lives in time and space called 710. Then it goes on to say, and when I speak of self, I speak not of the self which is the dream of the body. I'm talking about the self which you have identified yourself with. Rather, I speak of the self that transcends all limitation and exists in all dimensions. Beloved friends, by way of introduction to that which we will be speaking unto in the next 12 lessons called The Way of Transformations, let's rest with this simple truth. Now, I'm going to give you a simple truth. At no time are you imprisoned inside your body.
Mm-hmm. That is so cool.
Now, remember that we gave ourselves permission tonight to hear outrageous ideas that we normally wouldn't think about. Is this agreed?
Right.
That it's okay that if I say stuff to you tonight that you don't hear on TV normally, right? Unless you're looking at Star Trek or something. All right. For Trekkies, they're at home. Okay. No Trekkies know what I'm talking about. Just get outrageous, black man. I can't wait. See, I chose to be in a black body. I chose to be male. I chose it. This is an experience that I have created for myself by identifying myself as being a physical body in space and time. This is just one little part of what I think I am. And who we really are is greater than anything we can imagine that covers all dimensions of consciousness. How would you like to go out on a date with somebody like that? That'd be a trip if somebody walked up to you and said that. And then text you. But that's who we are. We are unlimited beings who identify with physical bodies existing in space and time that really are unlimited in all dimensions, and we're choosing to text or dance or walk or whatever we do. Then it says, at no time are you imprisoned within the body. At no time, at no time, at no time, at no time are you limited to the appearance that you have come to believe is you. You're not even limited to looking the way you look right now. That you're so unlimited that the truth is you could change your appearance anytime you got ready. Isn't that outrageous? Then it goes on to say, no matter how deep the pain, no matter how certain you have been of what you call your common sense telling you, I am here. I am this body. This moment is happening. This is all there is. Regardless of all of that, the truth is not shaken. You are not the mere appearance of the body with a mind that you have called yourself. You are more than this body and this mind that you call yourself. Now, with that simple point, I love it. With that simple point, that little simple point. In the meantime, I'm looking at smoke coming out of people's ears. The part of us that likes to analyze, it's like, you know. But there's another part of us that knows, hey, that's true. I am an unlimited being, and I'm not a victim. And I did identify with this body, and I am in time and space, and I am giving myself this experience. And I am greater than I tell myself I am. There's a part of us that knows that. There's a part of us that knows that we've been selling ourselves, what they call it, a bill of goods, you know, from the time we were born, to make ourselves forget the unlimited spirit that we are. And so now we played that game of not knowing who we are long enough. Now we want to remember who we are again. We want to get back in touch with ourselves as love, and as free, and as abundant, and as unlimited. We're tired of playing the game of being limited beings in competition with each other, blaming each other for everything, fighting and feeling afraid. Broken into by periods in which we seem to form special relationships with a few people that we can try to love out of our fear and just friggin' suck the life out of them until we go on to the next one. And we believe we deserve more than that, don't we?
Yeah.
We're beginning to recognize that there might be more. So it's saying to us that the first step to having a new idea about yourself is you have to hear the idea without believing it.
Right.
The second step is to keep hearing the idea and then beginning to consider it more and more with some reservations. Then you keep on giving yourself the idea and repeat it to yourself until you finally accept it as true. And when you finally accept it as true, because you constantly giving it to yourself until you got rid of your own doubts, then you see it as your physical experience in your physical world, and you get a chance to physically experience the thing that is your idea that you've always wanted to experience. But first, you have to be willing to hear what you don't believe, because in that way, you're looking at a different perspective than what you normally look at. That's what makes it new. That's what makes it different, is that it's not the way you think. So when you're really ready for a change, you're usually sitting in a room or reading a book or something that's telling you stuff that you don't believe at first, that it's like shocking you. Or you're having the other experience, which is you're hearing it and you're remembering what you already know, but you have forgotten it. So those are the two kind of people listening. Those who it's totally different, it's all, they never would have believed it. They want to believe it. They want to believe they're unlimited. They want to believe that they're loved. They want to believe that they can create, that they don't. So how do I get to that point? Well, I've got to hear it over and over and over again with some reservations, consider it seriously more and more. If I keep on doing it, then I'll finally go, you know what? I am unlimited. And then pow, all you start seeing around you is witnesses to how unlimited and wonderful and beautiful you are. And a person living in that kind of world is a person that people who are unhappy don't even think exist. So there's a world of people who are ecstatically loving and happy that are surrounding us that we don't see because they would prove us wrong. what do you mean prove us wrong? That we are wrong about thinking we're not enough, that we're not loved, that we are alone, that we can't trust, that we need to be afraid. It's like the world we built around all this separation. If we were actually able to see the parts of us that are really happy, it would blow our whole theory about our life. And we would remember we were unlimited spirit again. And the minute you remember your unlimited spirit again that creates through your own thoughts, then you know immediately that if you're really smart, you're not going to make up what you want anymore. What? If you're really smart, when your power comes back and you become aware of it, you won't try to make yourself happy. What you would do is you would try everything in your power to get out of the way so that the part of you that is unlimited and knows it, that loves you, can start creating through you instead of you being in charge of it based on your limited perception of everything. Because you only see the outside of everything, so you don't really see it all. Because a person that's blind is the person that only sees the outside of things. That's what's blind on the spiritual level. On the spiritual level, when you're not blind, then you actually recognize the truth that we're all one and we're all unlimited beings pretending like we're not. And then all of a sudden you stop getting upset with people about being such incredible actors. Because you're in a world full of the most incredible actors that you've ever seen. Actors who are so good at their role, they've gone insane, and now they think they are the roles they're playing. Then they've forgotten they're unlimited beings. So now they are mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and secretaries and doctors and all these roles we make up in the world. That's just the cosmic drama we're creating for the fun of it, because we're unlimited beings who wanted to have the experience of what it would be like to be a body in time and space. Really, this is supposed to be a vacation, but something went awry. Now you working.
Yeah.
It's like somebody giving you a free trip to Hawaii, and you go straight to the employment office. That's us. And then we wonder, what happened? I know there's a part of me that knows it's supposed to be more joyful. I just know it. So then it goes on. If you hear the truth correctly, it's funny. It's really funny. And you'll be free when you laugh at your own pain. And you get to the point you can laugh at your own story. Then you'll be free. But as long as you're taking it all serious, expect everybody else to take it serious, then that's your way of creating it and keeping it going for yourself. Because physical events are something like taking water, which is your thoughts, and then you put it in an ice tray and put it in a freezer, and then it becomes hard. You know, and that's what thoughts do. Thoughts become physical, like water becomes ice. So you're literally living in the physical reality of your own thoughts. Ain't that deep? Now, if you like what you see, that's very inspiring. But if you're one step from suicide, you didn't like what I just said. Because then you can't believe that the life you created, that you don't feel joy in, was something that you're creating yourself. Because you go, why would I do that to myself? That's what everybody always say. Well, why did I do it to myself? You know, well, because you wanted to play the game of being completely weak and powerless and watching yourself develop and redevelop and remember your unlimited nature. In other words, we're playing the game of going from what appears to be total helplessness and weakness to coming into the recognition of our unlimited spirit again. It's a great big divine game that we're playing. Now, how do you know you wanted to play the game of being weak and powerless and then coming to the realization of your power? Good question. You were born a baby. What's more powerless in the world than that? But look at you now. Don't you see that you're becoming stronger and stronger, more and more aware, and that it never stops? Woo! Woo! But now it's time to turn it over to our higher self, the part of us that knows the truth, the part of us that really loves us for real, so that it can take us to the next level, because we've gone as far as we can go on our own. There's a certain point on the spiritual path and on the path of awakening that you have to join. It can't be just your ego figuring it out by yourself anymore. Because you know why? Because you're finally ready to have it easier. And whenever somebody's ready to have it easier, they always join. They don't try to do it by themselves anymore. People who like to struggle like to do it alone. Deep in it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second and give you an opportunity to say something before I go further in this. Don't forget the game, though. Don't get serious about this. All right, we're playing a game of listening to something different from what we normally believe. Okay? Yes.
Well, I just want to laugh at I'm making up that this question's going to be stupid.
All right.
So that's kind of funny. I asked it yet, you know. You talk about getting out of the way of your source, or the unlimited you. I'm just curious if you have any like tools that come right to mind. One that kind of popped up for me is just moving toward joy, like that expansive feeling. So if you're trying to make decisions, I'm just trying to figure out how to trust myself more and go more into that space than the controlling space.
Well, the first thing I want to say is the easiest way to be able to tell the difference between when you're listening to the voice of your unlimited self and when you're listening to the voice of your limited self is a spiritual practice that teaches you how to tell the difference between how love operates and how fear and separation operates, so that you can tell when you are coming from your fearful mind or whether you're coming from your loving unlimited mind. So it's not something you can make up as you go along usually. The hardest way to get to the point that you stop hurting yourself is you teaching yourself based on your own past experience. It's smarter to listen to wisdom that is greater than your own. But that calls for a surrender that most people aren't ready to learn to do because they don't realize that it will finally make their life joyful and they'll start to really have everything they've ever wanted because they're following inner guidance that's telling them where it's located. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier for somebody to guide you somewhere than for you to figure out how to get there on your own. But we refuse our own inner guide in order to have this experience of being separate from each other. But we're tired of being separate from each other. So now we're having to remember who we are again and remember that we aren't victims of anything that we're going through right now, and everything we're going through right now, we're creating it, and we can have it totally different by just having a new awareness of who we are. In other words, it's time for me to start seeing myself as unlimited if I want to experience myself as being unlimited, because the outer is going to be a reflection of what it is I believe within. So at first I got to tell myself things that don't seem true to me. I'm going to have to tell myself I am infinite, I am unlimited, even though there's a part of me that thinks I'm weak and insecure and don't know. It's like, in other words, you got to start choosing which thought system you're going to start to invest in. The one that you're loving and unlimited, or still keep up with the other one in the past. And what it's telling us here is that, I say it again, it's so cool to you are unlimited, you exist at all dimensions of consciousness, and this is just one little aspect of yourself that's choosing to identify with the body in space and time. But you are beyond all of it, and you created all of it, and now you're ready to start enjoying all of it by letting your own higher self finally start creating your life. The part of you that loves you. Woo! Now, the part of you that doesn't love you, the part of you that hates you, the part of you that creates the bum relationships, the no money, the upset, the worry, the fear, the concern, that came from you too. What it's teaching us is that the part of us that created that is going to try to defend its existence, and it's going to try to defend its existence in the beginning by trying to create more things for you to be afraid of and to make you feel like you're weak, so that you will not believe you're the unlimited self. So at the very beginning, you're probably going to try to convince yourself that you couldn't possibly be as unlimited as I told you are tonight. In other words, there's a part of you that's going to try to prove me wrong. And it's going to try to prove me wrong by creating some kind of drama or pain for you, so that this will just sound like something crazy that you just need to forget about. So you got to be on the lookout for that, because if you're not on the lookout for it, then you act like you're shocked when things come up that seem like they make you unhappy, instead of realizing that those things that are making you unhappy, the ones you say you want to change your mind, the things that are making you unhappy are just the obstacles you are placing in your own path because you're trying to convince yourself you're not the unlimited person, that you don't deserve what you just asked for. So you have to be aware that there's a shadow side. There's a part of you that doesn't like you. And if you're aware of it, it can't hurt you. But if you pretend it's not there, it's gonna kick your ass. I'm telling you now, you don't have to believe nothing I'm saying. That's where I can talk to you freely, because you don't have to believe in the thing that I'm saying. It frees me up, okay? So the way you make that choice is you get a spiritual practice that teaches you the difference between when you're getting ready to screw yourself up again and when you're getting ready to do something that's going to help you. In these type books, and I'm not saying just this path, spiritual books, true spiritual books, they teach everyone that. How to tell the difference between love and fear, oneness and separation, so that you can catch yourself before you create something for yourself that's going to hurt you, because you'll know the difference between the two. But this is the challenge, Emily, in my 33 years of teaching. It's very difficult to get people to give anything attention and study. They want to get the information and the new perception by doing nothing, but saying, I want the new perception, I want the other way of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? It's like at some point I had to read this friggin' book, and I had to start trying to recognize what it was saying and do the exercise. Same thing about the Course in Miracles. You know, but I don't hurt myself anymore like I used to. And I'm surrounded by some of the most loving beings you can ever imagine. And that didn't happen by accident. It happened because I really reached my limit. I had to reach my limit. And you can't help people who haven't reached their limit, because if they haven't reached their limit, they're going to bullshit around. Okay, now, that's right.
Yeah,
People haven't reached their limit, they bullshit around. Yeah. They pretend like they want to change, and they talk about change, and they're discussing changes, and they go to classes on change, and they go to workshop on change, and they talk to their friends on the phone about change, and they have webinars about change, and they don't do nothing. Because they haven't gotten miserable enough to say, I've had enough, and I'm going to do it differently now. So when you interfere with people reaching their limit, you're slowing down their happiness. Leave people alone unless they ask you. Some people need to go straight to their limit, quick, instead of being rescued, so that they'll go, okay, I've hit the bottom, now I'm ready for something really different. And guess what? I'm going to really do it. I'm willing to really open my mind now and admit that I don't know, and I'm willing to look at it another way, because I'm an unlimited being. I need to remember who I am now. Yeah. I'm ready to stop suffering now. I'm ready to experience this in love, in joy, in fun, in innocence, in abundance. Then I drop the body and go to the next playground. But I got to go from unhappy Earl to happy Earl to unlimited Earl. I'm not going to jump from unhappy Earl to unlimited Earl. I got to have, the truth has got to give me that intermediary stage where I'm happy. And I'm happy where I am. Here.
Yeah, Earl. Do it. Like Cheryl laughs all the time. She's so damn happy.
You know when you really love somebody, you can't help it? Did you know that? If you really love somebody, you can't help it. You know, if you can control it, you're probably not feeling it. So if you got a love you can control, it ain't love. If you sit back trying to decide if you love me, you don't.
That's right.
Because if I love you, I have to give it to you. And you have to give it to me. You don't never have to seduce somebody you love. You just welcome them. You just like a big old doormat with welcome on it. That's what I want to be to my Creator. I want to be one big welcome. Come on in, Creator. Come on in. Use me. Use my body any kind of way you want to. I'm resigned now. I'm not going to try to make myself happy anymore. I'm going to let myself be happy. Boy, that's deep, isn't it? So then it says, now with that simple point as a foundation, we can begin, beloved friends, the way of transformation rests on exactly the same thing that all of your dreams rest upon. The decision concerning what you would be committed to. Woo! So everything in your life that you are experienced is coming from that which you want to be committed to. So, for you cannot dream a dream. That is, you cannot create an experience in the field of consciousness without being 100% committed to it. Say it again. Okay, we're these unlimited beings, we're being told, you can't create anything in this experience unless you're 100% committed. You got to be 100% committed to create your dream, to create your experience. You've got to be 100% committed. So now we know what we've been 100% committed to. We have been 100% committed to the experience we're having right now. Because we couldn't have it unless we were 100% committed to it. So we've been 100% committed to having this experience, and your experience that you're having in your life right now, whatever's physically happening in your perception is what you are 100% committed to. Now, it may appear that this is not the case. It may appear that this is not the case, but I assure you that it is. This means that in each moment of your lived experience, what you are aware of is totally uncaused by anything outside of yourself. As you listen to these words, for example, if you limit yourself to being only the body, receiving certain frequencies of vibration, touching your eyes, he's describing what seeing is. Certain frequencies of vibrations touching your eyes, creating a certain neurological stimulus within your brain and translating that vibration into certain words of your English language. That experience is not caused by anything outside of yourself. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. Because he just described what we're doing when we hear. See, okay, I'll say it one more time. It's fun. Okay. If you limit to yourself to being the body, receiving certain frequencies of vibration, touching my eyes. All right. Some good stuff. I like your frequencies. Y'all got some good, hot, juicy frequencies in here. I'll tell you. You all a bunch of frequencies. I'm a frequency. In these frequencies, touching your eyes are creating a certain neurological stimulus within your brain, translating the vibrations into certain words in your English language. That experience is not being caused by anything outside yourself. You are equally and infinitely free in this very moment. As you contemplate these words, you are equally and infinitely free. You are equally and infinitely free. You are equally and infinitely free to experience this transmission of vibration in a totally different way, even beyond your language. You are free to perceive yourself from the realms of pure spirit. You are free to see me. You are free to see me and those who join with me as we transmit this frequency that creates the vibration through your physical form. So we are being told that we have invisible helpers. Invisible helpers. It says, you are free to join with me and those who join with me as we transmit this frequency. In other words, if we are spiritual beings and this physical reality is just one aspect of our expression of ourselves that we're trying on, then that would have to mean that there would be life beings, right, who were outside the body. We were unlimited beings that chose to experience the body, but before that we had to be outside the body, right? Well, why would it be so wild to believe there's still parts of ourselves that never came in, that's outside the body, just like there are parts of us that we know out in the world that didn't come to the room, but they still exist. So it's not like everybody that existed had to come here only. So we're being told that if we are unlimited spiritual beings, we actually have invisible help and connection. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, just don't show up when I'm by myself at night. I mean, I was making love one time after I'd been working on my psychic development. And there is sex after psychic development. Okay, and just at that moment of orgasmic delight, when you lose awareness of who you are, your ego dies and there's no separation between you, orgasm. I saw a face that suspended itself right in front of my eyes. Freaked me out! And I told Spirit right then, I said, look, I know I'm not doing a menage a trois with a headless body. It's a head. Yeah, it's a whole new meaning of head. I ain't gonna do it this way. This is too literal. Is there a message here? So what happens a lot of times when you work on yourself spiritually and psychically is you start to be able to perceive at new levels, and you start to be able to see things that you don't ordinarily see. And as your vibration changes, as you become more loving and you become more conscious, you become more and more invisible to people who are on a level that would harm you or that would think about harming you. So you actually become invisible to people who would cause you pain as you become more loving. They don't even notice you, they're not attracted to you, and they don't want you. If I'm out about among the regular world, regular women are never attracted to me. The ones who want to blame and possess and attack and...
Regular women?
Yeah, regular. Yeah, the regular. The more I move into more and more conscious circles, the more attraction happens. Because I'm resonating more, we're resonating more on the same vibration, so we notice each other. So one of the things that happens when people start to really raise their vibration is a lot of people move out of their life and they wonder what's going wrong. Because they studying this stuff and all of a sudden it looks like people are dropping out of their life and they don't realize their vibration is shifting. Who you are and what you're focusing on is changing. So you're going to attract people to you who correspond more to where you're trying to go now. Okay? So don't freak out if things start to change around you when you start to change. So we're being told here that we're going to do an exercise to expand our awareness. Okay, y'all ready? Okay. Before I do that, any questions, any comments before I do that? This is intense, isn't it?
Yeah, this is deep.
Yeah, this is really deep. And I'm just going to be real with you. You know, I want to be used by God to bring you love and joy and happiness. That's what I want. Yeah. I want to be helpful. I want to be beneficial to you. Because you are me. I am you. I'm looking at myself when I look at you. If this is what these books are saying us all the time, when are we going to start acting like it? I mean, every one of these freaking books tell us that we're one and that we're connected and that we're all joined. And we'll sit around and we'll listen to it politely and still treat each other as absolute strangers and absolute separate. You got to be stronger than your personality. You got to take control over your personality. You can't no longer let your personality control you anymore. You can no longer say it's your shyness and your personality and all that's keeping you from expressing yourself now. It's time to stop being a prisoner of your own personality. You know, that doesn't fly anymore. I'm introverted, I'm extroverted, all that stuff. It's all made up. We are the ones who made it up. So you can change it anytime you get ready. You don't have to always be shy because you were shy. That's a personality. That's not you. It's just a story you've been giving yourself so long you believe it. Isn't that deep? Woo! So, you know, I was bashful and shy. You see how that worked out? I was so shy when I was a kid, I just crawled around the baseboard. I didn't even stand up. That's how shy I was. Little Earl that's still crawling around the baseboard, you innocent. You're powerful, you're strong, you're going to be okay. Because see, time is simultaneous. So the me that was crawling is still crawling, and the me that's already dead, it's already happened too. It's sort of like, would you please hand me a book, please? Let me tell you exactly how time operates. This is your life. This is it. It's already done. It's over. And at the end of the page, I'm going to share with you how it turned out. And they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, now that's how it's going to turn out. Now you get a chance to see everything that you went through to get to that.
Yeah.
This is your story. We got it? And this is 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old, 4 year old, 5 year old, 6 year old. And so you might be depending on where you are in your book right now. Okay? You still with me? So we're looking at it linearly right now. So we're doing it day after day after day. But if you noticed, all the days are in the book. So that's what I meant. So that's why I could pray for Earl, who is here, from Earl, who is here, because they're both existing at the same time in the book. But you're going page by page, and I'm looking at the whole book. So time is simultaneous as well as linear. So you can still pray for, advise, help the you that was younger and dumber than you are right now. And the part of you that's back here is trying to tell the part of you that's right here how to get to him or her that's happy. And you call that listening to the voice of God, the Holy Spirit. It's the part of you that's divine that's trying to direct you to it. Whew. So this day is just a page in your book. Now why are you studying? So that you can decide whether you're going to look at the book and and cry. Christmas 1975. or you gonna say this is the best joke book I ever read. Boy, that relationship. You see what I'm saying? You're in classes like this so that you can learn how you want to see your story. And then maybe let's let your story go. Let something else show up completely different that you never even imagined. Some people have been reading the same book over and over and over and over and over and over. So of course that boyfriend seems like familiar. It's the same one you had 900 times as you went through the book all the other times. You're reading the same book over and over and over again. No wonder you know what's going to happen tomorrow. You've done it over and over and over and over again. So you're not psychic. You're just repeating your past. So of course you know, I can tell you, I can predict that when I take Ray Street and I get up to 14th, and if I make a left and then a right on Colorado, that's where my house is, where I live is. Why can I predict that so certainly? Because I've done it so many times before. That's why we're so bored. We've done it all so many friggin' times before. Well, you think we're so bored, and you know? So we're going to have a book burning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's time to it's time to expand our awareness. All right, here we go. That was deep, so don't worry about that. If you don't understand none of that, that's brilliant. Because it's just about introducing ideas that you wouldn't ordinarily think of. That's the exciting part, is I bring up things you wouldn't ordinarily think of. That exercises your mind. Do you know what weakens your thought? What weakens your thought is not thinking what you want to. When you don't think the way you want to think, the Course in Miracles teaches that it weakens the power of your thought. So you can always think what you want to think, anytime, anywhere, and nobody can stop you. So Don't be afraid to think whatever you want to think to you. It'll make your thoughts stronger. Think anything, no matter how outrageous it may seem. Just practice that sometimes. Don't just think whatever you want to think, however you want to think. And see how good that makes you feel and how powerful that makes you feel. So, here's the simple exercise. I want you to take just a moment, and within your consciousness, I want you to drop this little simple pebble. So close your eyes, please. I promise you, I'm not going to draw nothing on your face. Well, maybe. Those of you who don't mind saying it aloud, please do. Those who don't want to say it aloud, please don't. Please don't. Just let yourself listen. And I'll do it for both people. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am not what I perceive myself to be. I am unlimited pure spirit and nothing is unavailable to me. I am unlimited pure spirit and nothing is unavailable to me. I am unlimited pure spirit and nothing is unavailable to me. I am unlimited. Is my head cut off? Is my head cut off on there? It's not. Thank you. Vanity shall not interfere with an exercise to expand your awareness. I am unlimited pure spirit and nothing is unavailable to me. I love that. Nothing is unavailable to me. 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 Do you want to put a little juice into it? Nothing is unavailable to me. 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 Therefore, in this moment, I choose to open access. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. Woo! I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. So that I might call this moment to me in a different way. So that I might call this moment to me in a different way. So that I might call this moment to me in a different way. So I'll say it again. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience so that I might call this moment to me in a different way. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience so that I might call this moment to me in a different way. I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience so that I might call this moment to me in a different way. Now, as these words are spoken, notice what images begin to come into your field of awareness. As perhaps you imagine yourself to be far more than just the body, abiding in far greater dimensions than the physical dimension, do you see fleeting images of other beings? Do you see colors of light? Do you see subtle feelings that perhaps you have not been aware of while you were focusing on your language? What do you notice drifting through the field of your awareness? Pay attention to it, for you can imagine what you have not or are not experiencing. You are the field of consciousness having that experience now. You create the capacity. You decide what will enter into the field of your awareness. You decide how you will experience it. Learn to look beneath the scenes. Learn to look beneath the scenes. Learn to feel beyond the body. Learn to feel beyond the body. Learn to allow yourself awareness of what steals across the metaphorical corner of your eye, that is the outer edges of your field of awareness. Come to realize that the experience you are most familiar with, that is the experience of being a body who reads and listens to words which are vibrations of sound, translates vibrations of sound into English, and therefore perceives that you are having a conversation with one being who happens to be in another body. Guess what? You're having a very limited perception. Wow. Wow, that was cold, wasn't it? We were just told that once you come to realize that the experience you are most familiar with, which is that of being a body mind who reads or listens to words, which are vibrations of sound, translates them into English, and therefore perceives that you are having a conversation with one being who happens to be in another body, is a very limited perception. This is a very limited perception. This is a very limited perception. Recognize that around the edges of that there is another far more vast, something which can be cultivated, that allows you to be aware at much more refined levels.
Wow.
Eventually you will be able to perceive these dimensions of energy with your eyes open as you look upon another body, mind, who is currently having the experience of vibrating thoughts through it toward you. You call it conversation. Conversation is just the experience of vibrating thoughts being directed toward you. I'll say it again. A conversation is an experience of vibrating thoughts that are being directed towards you. You will see that other beings, not as just a body, but you will start to see them as a field of light. You will start to see colors. You will feel vibrations. And those colors and those vibrations will tell you much more than words could ever say to you. The result, of course, is that you will not be fooled by words nearly as often as you would have been in the past. So what did we just hear? That you will get to the point as you begin to wake up to who you really are, that you will start to not see people as bodies. You will start to see them as light, and you will start to see colors around beings. You will see colored light. And then it told us that you will start to feel people's vibrations, and that'll mean more than the conversation and the words that they're giving to you. And also their light will have colors that will tell you more than their words are saying to you. As a matter of fact, it says those vibrations will tell you much more than words could ever say to you. The result is going to be nobody will be able to fool you, because whatever is going on will be revealed by their vibrations and the colors that surrounds them. So if someone is lying to you, that will have a certain color. So no matter what people are saying to you, you'll get to the point that you can see the colors that they're vibrating when they're talking to you, and you'll know by the colors that they're vibrating the true meaning of what they're saying, as opposed to the words that they're using. We're being told how we're going to develop as we begin to realize our unlimited nature again, because it's not possible that we're getting ready to be more unlimited than ever before and think we're going to be the same way we always have been. If we're going to really grow into something greater than what we think we are, there are going to be certain abilities that are going to come with that. There are going to become certain things we'll learn how to do that we don't know how to do right now, and we're being told what that's going to be so that we can allow it without freaking out and be safer than we are now. Because I would much rather be able to know the true meaning behind what you're saying than to have to depend on my interpretation of your words. I'd much rather feel your love for me and know that that's real than being dependent on the words that you're telling me about you love me. I'd much rather know how you feel by the vibration that's coming from you rather than the words that you're using. You know? And let's say that red was a color that people said when they were, red was a color that people glowed when they were angry, but they were smiling in your face saying they weren't mad at you, but everything around them was red. Then you see straight through that lie, and you'd be safer. So what's going to happen is we're going to be able to communicate and be more aware than we've ever been before. And your awareness is what's going to save you and make you safe, because you'll just be aware. You know, I wouldn't have hurt myself in that relationship with that person had I been aware. You know, I would have known not to take that job that I subsequently wish I had not taken if I had been aware. So awareness is what we're going to have increased, is an expanded awareness. And that's what we do when we come here. We allow ourselves to think things about ourselves that we normally would not think, so that we can start to experience experiences that we normally wouldn't experience. The old part of us is going to try to make us go unconscious so that we'll stay the way we've always been and not recognize this new opportunity that we've been given to express ourselves in an unlimited way. So that's why people get weary. That's why they want to go to sleep. That's why they get hot. All of those things are happening in order to distract you from hearing what I'm saying about how unlimited you are and how you can actually create your experience that's the way you really want it. But I'm going to keep on reminding you every week because I want to remember. What did anybody experience when they were doing that exercise? Did anybody have any kind of thoughts, any kind of feelings, anything come up for them when they were doing it? Or better still, what the hell y'all think about all the stuff I've been saying? Come on, give me some feedback. Talk to me. Let me know something. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I was just thinking, and this is going to sound probably really crazy, but it's when you were talking about after your psych exam, it made me think this one time I was with this person, Don, and it was so nuts because he was sitting like 3 feet away from me, right? We were sitting on this couch and he goes, I want you to experience God. And he just like crosses his legs and literally starts like shaking, and like this crazy orgasm just like came out of the air at me, and he goes, hold my hand. That's all that happened. He goes, hold my hand. And we're just like holding hands for 5 minutes, and I'm just like shaking, and I'm like, what is that? He just gets up and that was God.
Can you introduce me to him? I have an overwhelming urge to shake his hand. Oh yeah. Hey, look, I have had relationships in special relationships and love relationships that the connection and the passion was so great that you could just touch fingertips and orgasm. You can have people that you have that kind of connection with. And people who've never had that kind of connection, it sounds crazy to hear what I'm saying. It's totally possible to have an orgasm by touching someone, just touching the. You don't even have to do that. If you really get good, you can do it from across the room. There's some people that can go. Thank God for higher consciousness and spirituality, and it's different from all that frightening stuff I was taught as a child that makes people waste this physical experience that we have right now, spending their whole life trying to fix themselves instead of expressing themselves. It's sad when you think about it. You know, you buy into that crap that you've broken, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to fix yourself. As your life passes by, that you could be experiencing everything, you still trying to get over your mama. I wasted so much time like that. How about you?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you for sharing that. That was great. That was great. Maybe all of us can have a hand joie. You would just come get him, and we just all be sitting up there. That's great. That's great. Anybody else? Any thoughts, any feelings, any comments? I mean, we said some deep stuff tonight, and I know some had to cross somebody's mind. Yeah, okay.
I think it's all true.
Me too.
I do.
Me too.
Because, like, sometimes I just know things, and, like, when I meet people, it's about the energy, right? It's the energy you feel.
Sometimes we call it chemistry, you know? And some people, you instantly know each other to the point that you don't put each other through any kind of test. There's just instant trust, instant openness, instant love. When I played in the band, we called it groupies. It's a sacred experience. Because there's nothing wrong with meeting people and spontaneously connecting with them out of love. And I'm not saying that was necessarily love, but I'm talking about in some situations, you know. I know a friend of mine that he went out on a date and she never left. And they've had an incredibly loving experience of each other for several years. They never left the first date they had. Never separated. You know, so it is possible to have spontaneous connections of recognition with parts of yourself that you could have incredible experiences of joy, but you have to start seeing yourself as unlimited and being willing to see yourself beyond what you were taught by society and the people in your life from the past. You know, it gets to the point I had to make a choice between what I've been taught or the new stuff I was learning, and I had to use the new stuff I was learning as the basis of my decisions about what was true now, instead of using the stuff that I was taught as a child about being guilty, sinful, bad, and not enough. You got to make a choice. You got to decide which thought system you're going to use. And tonight we're being told, well, use the thought system that you're an unlimited being. And if you do that, you'll start to not matter to you what words people are using, and people won't be able to fool you by words, because you will be able to have vibrations and colors and insight into them that's beyond any words that they're saying to you. He says, practice this little exercise as often as you choose in any or all circumstances. It's not difficult. You simply use the field of your consciousness to decide to be aware of what is around the edges of the third dimensional experience you're having. Let me give you an example. Now, this is deep, y'all. You ready for hear something that's deep, different? Y'all sure?
Yeah.
Y'all sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For instance, when you are in your automobile and you pull up to a red light, as you sit next to another automobile with the driver, look over through the physical eyes. We pretty much do that. If you limit yourself, you will see an automobile with another body sitting behind a wheel, similar to what your body, or what you call your body, is doing. What, instead of just thinking there's another person over there, another body over there, what if you allowed yourself to play by looking at that being in the car and saying within the mind, this is but one small expression of that being. I wonder what's occurring around the edges. So what you want to start doing is saying, what I'm looking at you right now, I'm just seeing a small expression of you. And then I say, I wonder what's occurring around the edges of you. I never thought about that. I wonder what's occurring around your edges. I wonder what's occurring. I could just see you walking up to somebody at the party. I wonder what's going on around your edges. That's deep. That's deep. So I say it again. Next time you see somebody sitting in the car, rather than just saying this is another person sitting in the car, you want to say to yourself, this is just one small expression of that being. I wonder what's occurring around the edges. You might surprise yourself when suddenly a thought comes into your consciousness and you know that thought's not yours. It could be the thought of the person in the car saying, my God, why didn't I iron my husband's shirt this morning? Oh, he's going to be so angry. How many times have thoughts like that entered your mind and you have dismissed them as your imagination? Like all of a sudden you just have a thought come into your mind that seems totally unrelated to anything that you were thinking about. And then it says what we're suggesting is to use the most ordinary moments of your day. Use the most ordinary moments of your day. Use the most ordinary moments of your day to become aware of your own being, your own naturally expanded, unlimited self. There is nothing hidden at any time. At any moment, you have full access to the totality of another soul. At any moment, you all have full access to the totality of my soul, of who I am. You have access to the totality of who I am at each moment, and I have access to the totality of who you are in each moment. Now, does that sound like an invasion of privacy? The fact that I have total access to you in any given moment, does that seem like an invasion of privacy? Beloved friends, there's no such thing as privacy. Privacy, okay, here we go. Privacy is important only for those who believe they are cut off and separate. I'll say it again. Privacy is important only to those who believe they are cut off and separate and perhaps have something to hide. So that's why it's private. Because you got something to hide. And you feel, he says, we feel cut off and separate, so we have all these private thoughts. Then the Course says, takes it another level to me. It says, if it's private and you don't want to share it, by definition, it's nothing. Because anything that's real is something you want to share. Anything that's loving is something you wouldn't hide. Anything that's real, he says, is something you would give. That makes perfect sense to me. So the only thing you're really hiding is something that really isn't loving. Because there would be no need to hide a loving thought. So all the secrets that you won't tell me about what you think about me, they have no power because you won't share them. And they're private thoughts, so they mean nothing. That's awesome. Just think about it. You don't have to agree with it. Just think about it. What is it that I don't want to tell you? Some crap. Something I think is going to hurt you. Something I think is going to hurt me. By definition, it's not loving, or I'd share it. That's why every time I get a chance, I want to say to you, I value you. I love you. I appreciate you. Because as you share it, it becomes real. And it doesn't matter whether you feel that way about me. It doesn't matter whether you feel that way about me. It doesn't matter whether you feel that way about me. I still receive the benefits of sharing my love for you. And as a matter of fact, it feels so good to do it, it doesn't matter if you give me anything back, because I got the good feeling just by giving it to you. I received the blessing of it when I gave it to you, so it's nothing you got to pay me back for. If you truly give, nobody ever has to pay you back. But if you bargain, they do. And that's what the Course says, that our relationships are bargains. He calls it what we call love is just bargains. He calls it bargains made with guilt. So, in reality, nothing is hidden as you come to trust that the deep nature of your own being is perfect wisdom, perfect compassion, and perfect love. Would you open the door back there, a little area? We in the danger zone. We in the 15 minutes of class death.
There's some hot bodies in here.
I know, because you feel the heat. I don't know about y'all. Anybody else in here feel some heat? Yeah, the temperature has arisen.
Yes.
That's right. That's right, because we are light. We are light. That's what we are. We are everywhere. We are unlimited.
You can't be contained inside this room.
That's why we feel so much pressure. Do you know how much pressure you must be under to condense yourself from unlimited to a body? It's like we went from this to this. And the only way I can stay in this is through fear, because fear makes me contract. So the smaller I want to be, the more afraid I'll have to feel. And laughter will free you from the body altogether. Because you'll feel more joy than you can contain in your body. You'll be so happy you can't contain it. Whoa. Now, as you trust that the deep nature of your own being is perfect wisdom, perfect compassion, and perfect love, you will begin to release the fear you have built up around the extraordinary skills that you already possess. You have extraordinary skills that you are afraid of. You have extraordinary skills that you are afraid of. And as you trust the nature of your own being, then you're going to let go of your fear of using your extraordinary skills. Because each one of you have extraordinary skills. You're wondering why you don't know it. You don't know it because you are afraid of your own power. You will discover that you can trust your unlimited spirit as you sit in your car looking at the one behind the wheel of the automobile next to you, and you allow yourself to relax and notice what's around the edges. As it touches your consciousness, you will realize that this means the minds are not separate from one another. If their mind is touching your mind and your mind is touching their mind, then you're free to send them love. You're free to notice what you pick up from another, and without opening your physical mouth, you can send the answer of wisdom that they are seeking. So whatever it is that they need to know, you're being willing to join minds with them, allows spirit to give them the answer that they need to their situation directly into what appears to be their mind. So by me looking at you and not seeing you as just a body, it allows spirit to come through me, join with you to give you an answer that you need to some situation or circumstance in your own life and in your own mind. Just by me being willing to look at you as not just being your body, allows spirit to use my mind to reach your mind to give you an answer to something that you have been wondering about and keeping yourself from having peace about. I'm gonna finish this paragraph and we'll all fall out on the floor, okay? We'll all be one big old pile. But see, I'm telling you about me, I love this kind of stuff. See, I could talk about this kind of stuff all night long. Me personally, it does not put me to sleep. This beats the hell out of the stuff I hear most people talking about. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit up here and pretend like I hear stuff like this every day. Ho hum! I hear every day that I'm unlimited being this identifying with being the body in time and space. They can see people around their edges and doing mad with them and get them out. Ho hum! I'm bored. Let me go to sleep. Give me a friggin' break. You know, I'm excited because the minute you open your mind up to these ideas, you open yourself up to new experiences that you never had before. Things will start happening in your life that'll blow your mind. So it says, it's your mind touching theirs, yours is touching theirs, you are free to send them love, you are free to notice what you pick up from another mind, and without opening your mouth, you can send the answer of wisdom that they're seeking. Imagine being able to go to your grocery store, King Super or Safeway, and push your little metal carts down the aisles so that you can fill it with the boxes of what appears to be fresh food, and notice the thought waves of those around you. Imagine beginning to pick up what's going on in their drama, their story, their life, and actually being able to telepathically communicate to them the answers to their dilemmas. Would that not feel like a greater degree of freedom than what you've been accustomed to? The way of transformation absolutely requires that you be committed to living differently. If we're going to transform, we have to be committed to living differently. For is not transformation a change from the status quo? How can you experience transformation if you don't use time to think and be differently? How can you experience transformation if you don't use time to think differently and to be differently? Crying out to me won't do it. Reading 1,000 holy books won't do it. One thing and one thing only will bring you and the rest of the class into the transformation that you have sought. The willingness to live where you are right now differently. The willingness to live where you are right now differently. Okay, universe, I am willing to abide where I am differently. I'm willing to live where I am differently. I'm willing to live where I am differently. See, I'm consciously taking a moment to signify to my higher self, I'm willing to do it. And then I have witnesses to it, which gives it even more power. That's why I like to take advantage of groups to do exactly what it says as soon as it says it. Because that's pretty much the only time I'm going to do it. Anyway. Because once I leave out of here, the veil is going to drop. I'm going to go back to thinking about mundane things again and forget 90% of everything that was just said. Think that I'm just a separate human being again that's a victim to things that are happening around me. What class? I have this theory that the reason why I don't see, what's that noise?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're experiencing the world differently.
I said I was experiencing something differently. That's right. It's right. Oh yeah. So all you have to do is admit to yourself right now that you are willing to live differently. That you're willing to live differently. That you're willing to live differently. I'm willing to live differently. So that means I have to be willing to think differently. And remember, there are only two things that we feel according to the way of mastery. Willingness and resistance, which we call love or fear. But sometimes it's fun to call it willingness and resistance. I'm with you, I'm feeling love for you. I'm with you, I'm feeling willingness with you. I'm with you and I'm feeling fear. I'm with you and I'm feeling resistance. So I have fear of money. I have resistance to money. I have fear of relationship. I have resistance to relationship. I love relationships. I'm willing. I love money. I'm willing. I'm willing. So there's only willingness and resistance. And because you resist something, and because you resist your wealth, doesn't mean that your wealth doesn't exist. It just means you're resisting it. But it doesn't mean it's not there. So all you want to do is learn how to let go of the resistance. And the way you learn to let go of the resistance is by thinking differently, which is that I'm an unlimited being that exists in all dimensions of consciousness, and that I'm willing for my body to be used as a conduit for all that is to come through me to bless all that is. So I'm going to be the way the blessing comes into my own dream. That's where we headed. That's on page. Class, would you please acknowledge yourself for hearing this much tonight? All righty. We're going to do the financial expression of appreciation now. I really appreciate you sharing with me and my full-time ministry with teaching this stuff. What did I do with the bag? I brought it up somewhere. Anybody? Okay. We use this. Yeah, we use this. This will work. Imagine it's bigger than this. Okay. I appreciate your sharing with me. Those watching online, thank you for your comments. And also, if you want to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com. And I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, where we apply all this truth to whatever it is you think you're going through, to see if you can I can help you achieve the goal that you want to achieve. And I'm also using astrology and numerology with that for people who are open to it. So I'm available on Skype. I'm available on the phone. I want to be truly helpful. That's why I'm here, to be truly helpful. Also, Sundays at 1 o'clock, Course in Miracles. I want to invite you to come to the Course in Miracles at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see here. Take a breath. I'm not going to run you out there in a minute. I'm going to give you a minute to kind of come back to your bodies. And I'm going to go off for a minute, and you just let me go off and you just listen. You're not what you have perceived yourself to be. You're not what you have perceived yourself to be. You are not what you have perceived yourself to be. You are not what you have perceived yourself to be. You are unlimited. 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 You are pure spirit. You are pure spirit. You are pure spirit. You are pure spirit. Nothing is unavailable to you. Nothing is unavailable to you. Listen to me. Nothing is unavailable to you. Nothing is unavailable to you. Nothing is unavailable to you. In this moment, 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 you choose to open access. You choose to open access to other dimensions. You choose to open access to other dimensions of experience. You ready for new experiences? You choose to open access to other dimensions of experience so that you might call this moment to you in a different way. I say it's time to call this moment to you in a different way. It is time to call this moment to you in a different way. It's time to call this moment to you in a different way. It's time to call this moment to you in a different way. It's time to call this moment to you in a different way. So ask silently for something that you want to experience right now. Think about one change, one thing you'd like to experience differently right now in your life. One thing.
You make me feel so
Mighty companions, you unlimited spirits that's chosen to identify with a body that's sitting on a chair in this location, in this space and time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being reminders of the truth about us. Now I'm going to give you a psychic command. You will forget most of the things that I said tonight. You will walk away and forget most of the things that I said tonight. And it's going to be still in you. Can we acknowledge us, Holy God? Yes. 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 Woo. Woo. Believe it or not, we covered more than we have in a long time. We covered a lot of 3 pages of stuff almost tonight. That's a lot for a class. So y'all did outstanding. And so don't let the wrong person play with your edges.
Okay.